As we reported earlier, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has referred the viral video which led to Mr. Green's resignation to the police. Now, the Police High Command held a press conference today where the matter was raised, as well as the police's handling of the spiraling crime situation. More in this report.
And yes, in a word, yes, we'll be looking at it.
A straightforward response from the police commissioner when asked about investigating the case involving former Agriculture Minister Floyd Green. Major General Anthony Anderson said the police received a video of the incident in question last evening and it has been handed over to the Cybercrimes Unit. There are suggestions that the individuals in the video may have breached aspects of the Disaster Risk Management Act, DRMA. And turning to another topical case, this time involving Rastafarian Nzinga Knight from Clarendon. The commissioner said some progress has been made in the matter.
We have turned our file and our investigation over to Indicom. They wrote to us asking for us to do that. And I think it's a better way of approaching this matter. I think this is one of those matters that definitely needs an independent look, independent of us on it. So we await with some anticipation, in the same way you do, the outcome of that, so we can proceed.
The 19-year-old alleged that her locks were trimmed while she was in police custody. The leadership at the Four-Path station was transferred to facilitate the investigations. As it relates to crime, in particular the runaway murder figures, the police commissioner explained that over 70% of the murders committed in 2021 are gang-related. Over 990 murders have been committed so far this year, representing a 10% increase when compared to 2020. That increase has drawn criticism from opposition Senator Peter Bunting, who questioned how so many murders continue to be committed while the country is in an extended period of curfews and lockdowns.
The lockdown is a COVID-19 prevention measure. Lockdown is not a murder prevention measure. They're two different things, and we've seen that consistently in other jurisdictions where the lockdown and murder goes up. Because remember, understand, violence works different from crime for profit. Violence, the person who was going to murder somebody at 12 o'clock, they bring it forward to 3 o'clock.
The police commissioner, in the meantime, bemoaned the effectiveness of the country's laws, particularly those relating to illegal firearms. He feels those laws have impeded the fight against crime in Jamaica.
That we don't have a law against trafficking in firearms. That you can have a maximum sentence of 3 years in a parish court for illegal possession of a firearm, and 5 years for a prohibited weapon. They're just some things that doesn't make sense.
Codian Barrett, TVJ News.
There were crowds of disappointed persons once again at vaccination blitz sites across the island on Tuesday, as organizers were overwhelmed by persons seeking the COVID-19 vaccination. From St. James to St. Thomas, it was the same complaint: chaos.
It's a no-movement day, but hundreds of persons took advantage of the exemption granted for those getting vaccinated. But at the Sandals Inn in Montego Bay, St. James, healthcare officials were sent scampering because of the large numbers.
We did not expect anything like this.
Hundreds converged on the blitz site from as early as 6 a.m. Acting Regional Director for the Western Regional Health Authority, St. Andrade Sinclair, says the crowd got thicker by the minute, forcing him to implement crowd control measures, including temporarily barring some from entering and issuing numbers for small groups to file in. But that did not sit well with everyone.
I had to make that decision because this was out of control. So who is inside, who is outside is outside. We will get to you if you are in A, B, C, or D, right? I had to separate the crowd because this is social distance. This variant does not joke.
You have to wait until they finish with A, B, and C and all of that. Which you could have your form, you don't know who come before you. You would have to stand up and wait again till, see, right now she giving out form to somebody there, so and they say me have to wait. Then organize, a foolishness.
The people who were let in does not have to do with no number, nothing.
You were wrong from the beginning, just say that. They don't say Jamaican people are reckon with that. You can't do that.
But after months of administering vaccines, why are these chaotic scenes still happening? Mr. Sinclair says the Sandals Inn blitz catered mainly for persons due their second dose of the COVID-19 vaccine.
But we accommodate everybody. If you come and you're unregistered or whatever, first dose, second dose or whatever, we will accommodate you.
There were also reports of chaos at the Blitz sites at the Turkle River Park in Ochorea, St. Anne, the Portmore Hart Academy in St. Catherine, at St. George's College in Kingston, and in Yala, St. Thomas, where residents were reportedly misdirected.
And then say we must go to the health center, we got the health center. From man we got the health center, and now we that is Baptist Church Hall. We don't understand how them are mislead people. Because you tell us one thing, and we go one place, and then at the same time, other time we go Baptist Church Hall. Foolishness.
There are a lot of people wake up from around 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, go get their number, and when they turn, when they hear now, they hear say, it's at the church hall. How can you get the same number?
We don't know who made the mistake or what, but when you're not doing nothing, you must do nothing proper that we can understand what is what.
It's understood that dozens left each Blitz location frustrated and without the jab. They say they want the vaccine, but are calling for.
In the meantime, Prime Minister Andrew Holness has referred the viral video which led to Mr. Green's resignation to the police. Mr. Holness spoke with journalists at a vaccine mobilization and public education campaign in East Kingston today. Vashon Brown reports.
Disappointed. That was the Prime Minister's first reaction when he saw the video involving Floyd Green and others, including the councillor for the Mona Division, Andrew Bellamy.
Minister Green himself, having reflected upon it, also expressed his own disappointment and recommitted to ensuring that no such other incident ever occurred.
And as for the others in the video,
we are examining the situation with Councillor Bellamy, and you will hear shortly. And it's not just Councillor Bellamy, there are other persons in the video that we have to look at carefully. So, I have referred the video to the police, and we need advice to see what other actions need to be taken.
Mr. Holness argues that for the COVID-19 containment measures to work, people must follow the rules.
For us to properly manage this pandemic, enforcement is not the tool. We don't have the resources to enforce on every single Jamaican. We manage this pandemic because we have managed to build tremendous social capital. We have managed to get the people on board to follow the protocols, to follow the orders under the DRMA. So we have not relied heavily on enforcement. We have relied on the trust and confidence of the people in voluntary compliance.
He says it is important for government officials to practice what they preach. In other words, he argues that it does not look good for the government to tell people to comply with the COVID-19 measures while blatantly breaching the rules.
And I think Minister Green recognized this, that it was important that ministers exemplify the law, and what he did is admirable in offering his resignation, and indeed there was no option other than to, it was the right thing, and he did the right thing. It is a loss for the cabinet. Minister Green shows great potential, and a part of our discussion was how we could utilize the experience that he would have gained in government in other areas.
The Prime Minister says he will work out the details regarding how Mr. Green's talents will be used by the government. Vashon Brown, TVJ News.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The Carnival Sunrise cruise ship docked in Ochorea, St. Anne Monday amidst uproar over circumstances surrounding the visit. Many Jamaicans are upset that tourists were allowed to enjoy the country's attractions on a no-movement day. Dwayne Anderson reports.
And I don't think it looked good. You understand? And a lot of people, I believe, it's unfair.
Not everyone is happy that a cruise ship was allowed to visit Jamaica on a no-movement day. The ship Carnival Sunrise docked minutes after 8 Monday morning at the Ochorea Pier in St. Anne. From there, the tourists were taken to multiple attractions. Some swam with dolphins at Dolphin Cove. And although not all the attractions were accessible to the media, from what we observed, many of the 1,700 passengers had a good time. We spoke with a tour operator who was upset with the arrangements for this visit.
They should have reviewed and send an email to the cruise line, let them know that we have a 3-day lockdown. If they could reschedule and come on Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. But it doesn't look good to the people of Jamaica to have a cruise ship just arrive today, and it's open for about 4 business places in Ochi. What's happened to the rest of people?
But Ms. Kimberly Stiff of the Port Authority of Jamaica is adamant many Jamaicans benefited from the cruise line's visit and not just the so-called big businessman.
Including guest service assistants. Those persons will help with temperature checks. They also help with logistics, movement of people, telling them where to go, where the various store operators are, etc., etc. So there are a number of jobs or a number of roles that are provided to the average Jamaican person before the cruise passenger even leaves the port. So that narrative that it's a white man day, I'm not sure how it is substantiated, because there are various jobs, there are various persons, including security, janitorial services. There are a number of persons who benefit from a cruise ship coming here.
Rhonda Evans is one of the tourists from the cruise ship. She said she's been to Jamaica multiple times.
It looks like it's a ghost town now. I mean, you don't have the people cheering around or walking around and greeting you like you usually do.
This is the cruise liner's 3rd visit to Jamaica since the reopening of cruise tourism last month. The authorities stressed that rigorous safety measures guided Monday's visit.
Cruise passengers will participate in controlled tours within a bubble concept that will enable some form of restriction. We're limiting the ability for them to interact and mix with the public for our own safety, that is the safety of locals, although there is the premise that cruise passengers must be vaccinated, as well as they must produce a COVID negative test to embark the cruise ship at the start of their cruise.
Dwayne Anderson, TVJ News.